It hasn't been the start everyone wanted for Packers rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden, just 2 catches for 16 yards and 2 rushes for 15 yards in 2 games. But I do think we should have patience with Golden because when you look at other, notable receivers in this league, Amon-Ra St. Brown, JSN, Zay Flowers, Drake London, even some of the players last season who had breakouts in the second half, it often starts slow for rookie receivers, and you see that kind of second half of the season bump for them in terms of figuring things out. So I think staying patient with Matthew Golden is key. And yet, I think that there is a lot to like so far from what Matthew Golden has put on film. Okay, so when it comes to Golden's play through the first 2 weeks, I think a couple things are very clear. Green Bay wants to get Golden involved in the intermediate and deep passing game. And also, I think you saw, Golden really adjust well once he got to week 2, right? Kind of the speed of the NFL, kind of understanding things, right? Maybe the jitters a little bit of first game. You definitely saw some progression from him in a span of 4 days. So you're going to see here kind of a double move from Golden where you're going to try to peek to the inside and work back to the outside. Not super clean, didn't kind of have a plan through contact. Now defender does fall down, but Dobbs kind of ran that route earlier in the game and it looked a lot cleaner. Now here he does a great job stacking, right? The corner, but then also staying inside of this safety so that he cannot go close on the throw to Tucker Kraft here, which is important, right? And I do think that type of route spacing and making sure that defenders are occupied is an underrated part of playing the receiver position that we don't talk about very much. Now, other looks in the vertical passing game, right? Here, I think the corner in Amos is kind of expecting him to, attack this space just beyond the sticks on a 4th down rather than trying to get all of it down the field. And Golden accelerates, pulls away from him, and it's just an underthrown pass. Could have been a touchdown. Everybody remembers this one. Safety kind of clamps down to kind of potentially take away routes to the middle of the field. And Golden just runs by them both, right? This is potential touchdown, right? You see him pulling away from defenders with that speed, with that acceleration as he gets going. And then the same thing here, right? Release, get the corner on your back hip. And then you're going to see in these next kind of 5 to 7 yards, pulls away from the defender. He has completely pulled away, right? It's going to be difficult for some corners to handle that level of speed. And here again on this corner route, gets the corner on the back hip just where he wants him. And then you see him peek to the inside, right? As soon as he peeks to the inside, corner says, okay, I'm just going to try to run with him to the inside, right? And potentially probably watch for underthrows. But because he peeks to the inside, it's a win on the corner route, right? And he gets the corner going the direction he wants him to. Now for some of the in and out breakers that we've seen here, what I like about this one, right, is leaning into the defender, right? Leaning into contact early in the stem so that you're getting some push at the top so you can create some separation. Now, you can kind of see that he gets a little stuck, the gear down, again, he drops his weight really well to decelerate, but just a little bit inefficient on the through break transition there. You see that little bit of deceleration and struggle to reaccelerate. But here, good vertical pressure, pads are down, and then snap the route off against off coverage. Really, really nice work there. Same thing on the outbreakers where, again, when it was off coverage at Texas, he crushed these, and it's very clear that he's doing so again, right? Look, you can see head and shoulders are still peeking to the inside here. And then a very quick through break transition, get that drive step so that you are parallel, right, to kind of the line of scrimmage. Really, really impressive. And then again, just how quick some of these breaks are and how good the vertical pressure is, right? Making sure we're selling these things as vertical routes is really good. And so you have enough separation on a lot of these outbreaking routes. And now you get to the one that has been going around a lot. Switch release, right? Dobbs going to the outside, Golden coming inside. So when you see this, right, corner's probably thinking, I need to cheat to the inside, right? You get an outside release. There's a lot of space in the middle of the field, right? Which would make sense. But Dobbs is running a return route, and then Golden at the top is going to throw just a little rocker step in there, and you see the defender fall down, right? It's very subtle at the top of this. I'll run it again. But right here, one, plant that foot, and then once he kind of widens that left foot, right, defender's going to, okay, I'm going to clamp down on the in breaker, but it's quick footwork. It's just that little bit of pressure that gives Golden the advantage there. And then they did this twice in this game. Green Bay did, where they motion Golden in as kind of an insert to the C gap, and they kind of run either a corner or an outbreaker off of it. And I think this is something that they will probably come back to. Look, defender flat-footed, already in kind of recovery mode, and you have separation here if you wanted it. Now Love comfortably just takes the check down, which is wide open. So, but I do think Golden is probably going to get involved there. And then I do think you're probably going to see more quick game touches, right? I don't think the carries are necessarily going to go away, right? Even with Savion Williams maybe taking some of those. So he can get involved in the quick game, right? Where, again, good stiff arm there and pick up kind of chunk yardage on early downs like Devontae Adams has done in the past. So I do think there is still really good stuff from Golden's week 1 and 2 on film, especially week 2 against the Commanders, which should give you some confidence to him going forward. So don't panic, right? His separation score, for fantasy points data is really high. So I do think like a lot of that, and the film matches up to that, right? So I do think don't panic, be patient. I do think Matthew Golden's going to have a big game here in one of the next few weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, throw a like in there, subscribe if you're new. Plenty more Packers film room content on the way very, very soon. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Farewell.